If you guys are trying to take your training to the next level and you want to increase your speed, your power, your conditioning, then you gotta check out Phil Daru's 8-week heavy hitter boxing program. I'm telling you guys right now, there's no
Man, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course, support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terrence Crawford and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation, baby.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
If you know, you know. Now, what I'm about to tell you right now, you're going to start thinking that Lomachenko is maneuvering around the toughest competition. Now, Bob Arum came out and stated that he wants to put Lomachenko versus George Kambosos fight next. I'm sorry if I pronounce his name wrong, but obviously he's an unknown fighter from Australia and haven't really fought any top 10 fighter, and he's not a top 10 fighter himself. So for Lomachenko, if he wants to be pound for pound number one, he has to do better than that. I mean, fighting guys like Corolla, who's not ranked on the top 10, and now George, who's not ranked on the top 10 of the lightweight division, for Lomachenko to be looking to fight him next when Bob is claiming he's the greatest since Muhammad Ali is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care if it's to stay active or not. You just won a vacant belt without fighting a champion. Keep in mind, Lomachenko is a unified champion at the lightweight division. However, he fought for his third belt for a vacant belt. How you a mandatory for that belt when you a champion? If it's a vacant belt, two fighters that's ranked number 1 and number 2 should fight for that spot, not a champion. However, you snatched that opportunity from Devin Haney, and Devin Haney been calling you out since. And since you know Devin Haney is ranked number 1 for one of your belts, and he's about to be your mandatory, if you want to be active, how come you don't want to fight Devin Haney and get him out the way so he don't come in between you unifying the division and becoming undisputed by fighting the winner of Comey versus Lopez, so Devin Haney doesn't interfere? Because if the WBC order you to fight Devin Haney next, then that's gonna ruin a lot of plans. And if Lomachenko is successful and he beats the winner of Comey versus Lopez, then it's no point for you to vacate all your belts, because why would you do that and move down to the 130-pound division when the biggest name in that division already moved up in weight to become your mandatory? So might well keep your belts so you could have the bigger purse, or at least 50-50 purse, because we all know Tank Davis is the star in that situation. So due to that reason, why would you risk Devin Haney interfering with your plans, either for the Comey versus Lopez fight or the Tank Davis fight? If the WBC order you to fight Devin Haney, you're going to vacate the belt even though you claimed your dream match is always against Floyd Mayweather, but you won't fight his prodigy? Obviously, we already know Bob Arum came out and stated they're not interested in a Devin Haney fight. He's more interested in a Shakur Stevenson, because obviously he promotes Shakur Stevenson. So if Lomachenko loses to a fighter, he'd rather him lose to his fighter. Hopefully he won't do Shakur Stevenson the same way he did Rigondeaux when Rigondeaux destroyed his fighter Donaire, and he started talking shit about Rigondeaux. So regardless of that, why would Lomachenko fight a George, a fighter that's not even ranked? For you to be pound for pound number 1, you have to dethrone Terrence Crawford. Since you can't do that, because it reminds me when Andre Ward was the second pound for pound after Floyd Mayweather, he couldn't climb up to that number 1 spot. Why? Because Floyd Mayweather never got dethroned. So when Floyd Mayweather retired, Andre Ward became pound for pound number 1. Now Lomachenko has a Terrence Crawford problem, has an Errol Spence problem. Now he has these young bucks problems like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. So due to that, in order for you to prove yourself, do what Rigondeaux did and move up 2 weight divisions and fight a Terrence Crawford or a Manny Pacquiao. Do what Mikey Garcia did when he was trying to pursue a fight against you. However, you blamed on the shoulder injury, and then Mikey Garcia moved up in weight and tried to beat an Errol Spence to become pound for pound number 1. Do that. Manny Pacquiao only wanted you to move up like 2 pounds. Terrence Crawford was willing to meet you at 137 to see who's pound for pound number 1, since people kept talking about you as number 1 pound for pound. However, Lomachenko and his team said absolutely not to those requests and turned both of those fights down. So if you're not willing to do that, and you're not willing to fight a 41 years old Manny Pacquiao, the fighter you claim you want to be as great as a Manny Pacquiao. So if you can't beat an old version of a Manny Pacquiao, how in the hell you going to be as great as a Manny Pacquiao? When Manny Pacquiao moved up 8 weight divisions, you don't even want to move up 3 pounds after your 3rd division, even though that's only 5 pounds south from where you fought in the amateurs at 132. So if you don't want to do that, fine. However, you better not maneuver and duck the Devin Haneys, the Shakur Stevenson, and all these young talent, because yeah, they green. You in your prime. So what's the issue? Because Devin Haney, you got to keep in mind, he's way better than a George. And then you just fought a Luke Campbell, a guy who's ranked number 5 in the division. He's not even a champion. You just came off an easy fight. You just struggled against him. So that means you're not as good as people say. Because Luke Campbell was ranked number 5 in the division. Luke Campbell lacked fighting in the inside and mid-range. And you still lost like 5 to 6 rounds against a Luke Campbell. So that's why you don't want to fight with a Devin Haney. And you rather fight a guy that's not ranked on the top 10, like Corolla, George Kambosos, whatever his name is. I never heard of him. No boxing fans ever heard of him in the States. So why you fighting this guy? It don't make no sense. However, Bob Arum keep claiming Lomachenko is this big star, but he has to send him to other countries like the UK, London, now Australia, in order to sell off his opponent's fan base. He don't even have a fan base in the US after all this promotion and all this hype that they've been hyping Lomachenko. I'm going to tell you why. It's because it's not real. It's not the fans that's coming out and saying this. They forced it to the public. It's unnatural. It's not how Floyd Mayweather became pound for pound number 1 by proving himself. They try to force Lomachenko to become pound for pound number 1, but they can't even fight for him. Now when the competition getting a little tough, he's not even fighting pound for pound ranked fighters. He's only fought a guy that's ranked number 5 in the division his last fight, and he struggled against him. And now he's back to fighting fighters that's not even ranked again. This is ridiculous, and this has to stop. Devin Haney's calling you out, and he's about to call you out during the post-fight interview, and you have nothing to say, but you rather fight a George that no one ever heard of? Like, who is he? George Washington? Like, who is you fighting from Australia? And by these moves, they're not doing Lomachenko any justice, because they're doing him just like they did Tyson Fury, fighting fighters that's not even ranked on the top 50, which is even more ridiculous. But like I said, Lomachenko, he getting a lot of backlash because he's not living up to the performance that the media keep overhyping him to be this talent that he's not. And then due to his level of opposition, I mean, just look at it. He fighting a fighter that's not ranked on the top 10, possibly not even on the top 20. Even though he just came off fighting a guy that's ranked number 5 in the division, who already lost, who he fought for a vacant belt and won a belt. And instead of taking a hard fight after that, he's taking on an easier fight, a bum fight. Like, come on now. This is ridiculous, and this has to stop. That's why Lomachenko is not pound for pound number 1, and possibly not even number 2 or 3 now. If he fighting these type of competitions, old ass Manny Pacquiao fighting better competition than him, so he deserved his spot better than him. Obviously, Errol Spence, Canelo Alvarez will take that and snatch that spot quickly. He's competing against top levels of oppositions as far as the pound for pound list, so he better do better. If you know better, do better. So at the end of the day, Lomachenko wants to be pound for pound, but wants to be handed pound for pound. Like, it's ridiculous the oppositions he's going up against. Can you picture Floyd Mayweather as pound for pound number 1 fighting a fighter that's not ranked on the top 10 or 20? They will eat him alive. Floyd Mayweather fights a champion coming off his biggest win like Sugar Shane Mosley, and they still downplay that win. People who was claiming Floyd Mayweather was ducking Guerrero and Canelo before the fight, after Floyd Mayweather took them to school, they claim he cherry-picked them. So which one is it? Even though those fighters came off their biggest win when Floyd Mayweather fought them. Guerrero beat Berto, Canelo beat Trout when he was undefeated to become undisputed at 154. So Floyd fought him and beat them after their biggest win. However, they call Floyd Mayweather a cherry picker when he's fighting on pay-per-view every time. So he has to fight fighters that's coming off their biggest win. But you got Lomachenko on the other hand fighting literally cherries, and no one calls him out on it. So like I always say, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't. And listen to old media. Follow Lunatune Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. Follow me at Aki TV and click on the channel below and subscribe to it. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live and all that good stuff. And to be continue on the next episode of Aki TV. Peace, and we out.